Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's episode number 290 of the Audible Farm Podcast, and this episode is brought to you by the Fort Dodge Fine Arts Association. The Fort Dodge Fine Arts Association is all about supporting and connecting local artists, musicians, and creators right here in north central Iowa. Head over to fdfineartsassociation.org to find their community calendar packed with upcoming concerts, art shows, theater events, and more. While you're there, check out their podcast, FDT. It's available wherever you listen to podcasts. That's the Fort Dodge Fine Arts Association, celebrating creativity and community in the Fort Dodge area. This week, I'm sitting down with Patrick Tecklenburg, and we're talking about a lot of good stuff. A lot of nonsense, but a lot of good stuff. We start off this podcast literally halfway into a conversation, basically only because we wanted to. I introduce him a little later in the episode, but this is a fun one. We talk about all sorts of stuff. His life's changed. My life has changed. He was on the podcast last, episode 234, just over a year ago. And then before that, he was on episode 199 back in 2022. So if you want to go listen to the old episode, see what he was up to then, compare it to now, that's how you're going to do that. Otherwise, this is a fun one. We talk about how he's doing different things now than he was before. He's playing less shows intentionally, and the results are fun. So I hope you guys enjoy this episode. Me and Patrick Tecklenburg are sitting down talking about whatever comes to mind, plus the new strategy that he's employing and how it's working. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Check it out.
It's the Audible Farm Podcast with your host, Peter Stockdale.
To continue our conversation,
Yes.
about meeting people, you remember them, they don't remember you because they're famous or they meet a lot of people or whatever. So there's this famous singer-songwriter man, not very mainstream, but Bonnie Prince Billy is his stage name. His real name's Will Oldham. Anyhow, I've gone to 2 of his concerts, and I've met him after the concert both times. And granted, it's about 10 years apart. But the first time, I don't know if I want to get into that story. It was very, late night craziness, some trucker buying us schnapps. And, I mean, it was memorable to me because we went to the mill in Iowa City and the snow was falling, and there's just a lot to the story that I'm not going to get into. Mm-hmm. And I remember so much about it, and because Johnny Cash had covered one of his songs and he got to sing on the cover, and so I was all asking him about that, which he probably gets people asking about that every time they see him. But anyhow, and I was 22 years old or 21 or something, and just ooh, I don't know,
Brazen,
starstruck or something. But then through 3 or 4 years ago, I went to another concert of his, and then I was just I just want to talk to him afterwards and see if he remembers that, because there was this truck driver who was he just kept buying us shots of schnapps. And so I found him in the bathroom after the show, and I asked him if he remembered that. He's like, no, I don't remember that. And so then I was I feel like an idiot, but
no, I don't know.
Okay.
So
now you can introduce me.
All right, yeah, this is awesome. So we were having a fun conversation before this, and I'm sitting down with Patrick Tecklenburg, everybody. He was like, hey, I got to tell this story on air. There we go. We were talking about, basically just running into people and remembering them, but they might not remember you, which does happen. I don't know. It's happened to me, but it's happened to me the opposite direction too, where I remember somebody and they don't know who I am. So do you feel like you have some of that, though, playing music, where people come up to you and you're like, ooh, I think I know this person, but I forgot their name?
Oh, I have 2 thoughts regarding that.
All right.
There are people that you run into. Okay, I have 1.5 thoughts regarding that.
Okay.
Maybe 2.5. Okay, so first thought, there's a long list of people. Before we get there, I'm in my eBay room. That's why it's such a mess. I just want the world to know that. My light is flickering. I don't know why.
Dude, I've been seeing that. It's weird.
And, I know why. It's because I think one of the bulbs is going out. But, and also my laptop it could go down at any second, but we're gonna roll with it. And I'm busy. That's why I didn't go back to my beautiful hometown of Humboldt, Iowa, to see you, Peter.
Bummer, dude.
We could have waited a while, but I've been busy. So anyhow, my 2.5 thoughts are, so I was on Facebook, as musicians do. Get on Facebook and invite people to your events because it's the only social media thing that has an event feature. But anyhow, I'm going down the list, and all I'm thinking the whole time is like, there's like quite a few people on here that like I have never met, and I think they just see me pop up on their feed, and it's like 35 mutual friends, and it's like they're like music adjacent people.
Bingo.
Yeah. And I wouldn't know them if I saw them in public, but I see their names here and there online. So that's like thought number one. Like I'm scrolling through this list. It's like Facebook said I had like 400 invites left. And I usually just like do like a mass invite, but I'm like, let's see if I've like missed some people that would be obvious that like it's not picking up on, who like live in the area or whatever. So like I'm going through one by one, combing through it. And my next thought after that is there's like I have like all these specific memories of like that person came to my gig before, and that person came to my gig before, and that person came to my, and it's like it kind of warms my heart, and it's like, wow, like I feel good about it, but also
is that your dog?
Oh yeah, that's the other reason why I'm that.
That's awesome.
It's a hazardous situation. she'll probably come down here and try to get on screen at some point.
Awesome.
So it warms my heart because I'm like, that's amazing. This person like got in their car and drove somewhere to see me perform and spent some money and spent part of their day. But also like I'm always like, oh, my events are so sparsely attended. Like I don't got no draw. These places should never hire me. I'm always trying to do things to make up for, like it's like, you know what? Like I probably brought in some money for this. So there's that thought. And the third thought, as I'm combing through this list, is like there's a lot of people on here who are dead. And I
run into that too.
It seems like they always come up like there's like some special Facebook algorithm thing that makes their name come up before other people who are living.
I don't know if some of that is like the order you added them on Facebook or something like that, but I have actually run across exactly that as well, where like this person's passed away, and I don't know why they're showing up as like the fourth person down on the list to invite to this, but I also think about some of it as like these could be people I interacted with in this fashion before. And now that they're gone, it still thinks like, why don't you want to invite this person? But like maybe Facebook doesn't know they passed away, so it's just in the algorithm still,
That's the weird thing. Like, I thought I heard something recently about people dying and what the social media things do, or like, I don't know, somebody was like trying to get someone removed because they were dead, and then it just like it wouldn't let them, because like none of these companies have like a real human customer service, seems like
you have to be big in order to have any interaction with a human.
Yeah, and you have to go through like 7 layers of whatever, and I don't know, it's just weird how, and some of these deceased individuals have multiple Facebook accounts.
Yeah,
and it's like, I don't know, I kind of, if I were to die today, like maybe keep me up there for like 6 months or so, and people can like throw a digital farewell. But okay, so the other half of my thought, I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that, but those are my thoughts on I don't know what your question was to begin with.
I don't know. Let's sidetrack
meeting
this.
people at gigs.
What about social media pet peeve? What about people with like 9 different accounts?
On the same service?
Yeah, so like, and I'm just throwing out like Facebook's notorious for this, where you have somebody and they have like 4 different accounts and they're all the same. I don't know. It's like, how did you forget your password, or like, and then did you forget your email password? And then
usually because they got hacked, right?
I don't know. And some of these people's like, I got blocked out of my account because they just won't let me in it and do stuff. So I just made a new one. And it's like, eventually after like the third or fourth one, I'm just like, I'm not dealing with this anymore. I'm just not going to deal with it.
Well, that takes me back to like 7th grade, making a new Hotmail account like every 2 months because you wanted to get the perfect handle. Because like you like grow tired of it, and you're like, that doesn't represent me, and it doesn't seem cool. And somebody else, they came, and so I think I started making email accounts in like 4th or 5th grade or something, and I probably went through like 4 or 5, and so my Hotmail, I still check it every day. Like, I don't know what to do with it. I wish I could just make it like disappear, and I'm just scared that like it's not going to forward something important to my Gmail. But when I hopped on Gmail, I got the first name, last name, and I've stuck with it ever since. I just gave my email address away to your millions and millions of listeners.
Uh-oh.
I wasn't trying to be sarcastic.
I can bleep it out. Yeah, I'll bleep it out.
No, you can. No, keep it in there.
Okay.
Somebody email me so we can book a gig.
Okay, there you go.
It's
Boom.
Knowledge.
Oh, I love that.
But the last thought I had on the email address. Oh, but then Google took over YouTube, and I really don't want to say this in public, but man, there are videos of me that I wish I could get removed from YouTube, but they are on there from before I made the switcheroo, or before Google bought YouTube. Like, they're from like 2009, and I don't like, because maybe it was like my Hotmail account that gave me the YouTube account, and then at some point I got the Gmail account, and now Gmail's like all hooked up to YouTube, but I can't merge like the old Hotmail account YouTube, and I was not on it and inactive for so many years, and so those videos are just there, and I can't access them, and I've like reached out to customer service.
Good luck.
Because it's embarrassing, but yeah. So once again,
I think that's something funny though too. So like our generation was like, you're younger than I am, handful of years. You're not like 10, 15 years younger. You're just
4 years younger than you.
Okay. So like close enough to the same generation where like when we were young was when you could first kind of do this stuff, and we would just put like anything on there. Like, it's like, I mean, there's like pictures of me picking my nose and stuff like that on Facebook because I thought it was funny, you know, and they're still up there, and I can access them and take them down if I want to at least, but I just left them up there because it's like, this is what you did on the internet in 1998, everybody. You just put up stupid stuff, and it just, because why not?
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say 1998. I had probably never even used the internet, but
I just threw out a number.
Well, no, I get it, but I
was on the internet. In
maybe you got wired before my family did, but in like 2005, I remember just being bored in the summer and like posting things on these like weird websites that I would visit with my name in it, just because I wanted my name to come up on Google, and like. Now, like, I'm very happy that those things seem to not exist anymore. Like, just like forums and weird crap like that.
Yeah.
Like, things that you would do on the internet, like before the smartphone age, and like now it just seems very like why did I even like spend time doing that? And it's obviously I was bored, but it's like you could publish stuff, and I could put my name in it, and then it was like I felt cool like Googling my name and seeing that I came up on this website, and it made me feel special or important or something when I was like 12 years old. And now it's like, oh man, like I don't want any like thought of my 12-year-old self being published anywhere.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Any trace of my existence except like a sad acne scarred photo or
yeah, like the
whatever.
school photo somewhere hanging out. Yeah. No, I totally get it. Cause like I spent a lot of time on message boards and forums and chat rooms and things like that. Cause that was the era, as was the tradition back then. That's how the internet worked. There was more than 4 websites that everyone went to. Google barely existed if it did, et cetera, et cetera. So there's a lot of that kind of stuff that I do remember. Here's the benefit though. So one of my favorite things about the forums and message boards was there were some that were like really, really good and really, really, really niche. So like certain guitars or certain companies or certain like genres of music or things would have message boards where a lot of the people that were in the same area would like hang out together. So example, I like to play PV guitars. There's specific ones I like more than others. And there's forums that are set up just for like specific PV guitars. So you can go through and cruise through like years and years and years and years of people talking about these guitars from like the late 90s into like the 2010s. Through these forums and find information on there that people have like researched and found out, and it's like deposited in there, and it might not be elsewhere, or if you try to find it now, it's probably in some disposable 30-second clip that's not going to have any keywords that are rich enough to help you find it in the first place. So I think the internet basically took all of the cool things from then, put them into now, and made them like accessible to everyone and ridiculously disposable. And I don't necessarily care too much for it, which is why I like this form of media.
I think that internet forums are still alive and well, and it does seem like an outdated thing, but yeah, it's cool. I mean, I don't spend a lot of time on them, but the one that comes to mind is the Steve Hoffman forum. I don't know if you ever heard of that.
Nope.
I don't know who Steve Hoffman is. I think he's like some electrical engineer or something, but it's just like where people go to, like, I think, discuss like audiophile gear or just audio gear and like,
you're correct.
Which pressings of which records sound good and which don't, which, as I previously stated, I just see a ghost, or is that the light?
There's a light over here.
Okay. I sell a lot of things on eBay, and an alternative to eBay is Discogs, and I find Discogs to be like very not user-friendly, and like, I'm sure there are people out there that are going to be unhappy with me saying this, but I don't like Discogs. I mean, if I were to sell records on Discogs, I think they take less of a cut than eBay does, which is cool, but like you can't take pictures of your records. You just have to like input the data about it. And so I, at one point in my life, was like, all right, I'm gonna put all my records in on Discogs, but there's like very like minutia things about vinyl records as far that like the Discogs thing, in my experience, isn't going to do it justice. Like, there's just, because it's like, okay, well, you know that like Dark Side of the Moon was pressed came out in 1973 or 73, and obviously it's been like repressed like a bazillion times since then. So you go to Discogs and you're like, well, which copy do I have, and like what year did it come out? And it's complicated because it's like I was watching this guy on YouTube and he's just like, well, you just like put the label here and if it matches then it's the one. But it's like, no, there's different like run out matrices and there's different this and that. And like what really caught me up was like Beatles records, because it was like they have like the different pressing plants like labeled on there, I think. And like there's like a plant in Illinois, a plant in California, and like all this other, and I don't know. Okay, sorry, I'm getting into the weeds here, but I'm just like dissatisfied with it. And like, a lot of records, a lot of CDs just aren't worth hardly anything. So like I put them in like a lot and I sell that on eBay. You just can't do that on Discogs. So
okay, that's
another reason. Sorry if this is like not musician talk. It's somewhat.
No, it's cool.
But yeah, so Discogs, you suck. Haters gonna hate. You can clip that, put it on TikTok. I'm just kidding. It's a fine.
I don't have the energy to make clips half the time for my own podcast. Okay, so we did take a short edit there. If you guys hear a buzzing, it's Patrick's computer. So I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna do minimal editing on this, and if you hear it, I apologize. But that's what it is.
Raw, baby.
This is raw. So
raw is war,
dude. Oh, I love wrestling so much.
I was gonna. I had some stuff that stalled me from being on time, but my plan was to bring my Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson action figure and pretend to give it to you.
That would have been awesome if I could find a way to edit it into my hand. Dude, I've got like a Macho Man, one of those pillow dolls that you wrestle and stuff. I got one over there. That's pretty cool. I got a lot of wrestling crap.
Do you have rumblers? Do you know what rumblers are?
Is that what this thing is?
No, rumblers are they're this big.
Oh,
the little figures.
Super tiny guys. Yeah, I think
I have one for sale that seems to be rare, but nobody wants to buy it. I can't remember the guy's name. Bourne. Not Jason Bourne, but
Evan Bourne. Matt Bourne.
I think Evan, maybe.
Yeah, Evan Bourne. Yes.
Okay.
Evan?
Well.
Yeah. Yes, this is going to be Evan Bourne, Bourne. Yeah, it's Matt Seidel. That's who it is. Same thing. That's why anyways, cool stuff. Fun thing, I got a fun story about that. Matt Seidel, his younger brother was Mike, and I saw Mike wrestle a whole bunch. And I wasn't buddies with a lot of these guys, but I went to enough shows where they knew who I was. So I could sit and talk to them before or after the show or whatever. And sometimes I'd go wherever they'd go and just hang out. And when I was in Las Vegas one time, I ran into Mike at the MGM Grand. And I was just like, Mike Seidel? And he's like, yeah. And I was just like, what's up? And he's just like, oh, geez, I know this guy. What are you doing here? It was really wild. So I was there for a concert. I forget what he was there for. But yeah, I remember seeing him. That was pretty cool. So that's basically that fun story.
What does that have to do with the Bourne guy? Is that his real name?
Yeah. Evan Bourne, his real name's Matt Seidel.
And that's the guy you met in Vegas?
I met Matt's brother, Mike. What a long story.
And I have a little toy of him that's this big, and it's the only one for sale on eBay.
Wild. I actually might have that. I used to just go down the clearance aisle, and it's when everything was on clearance and just $1, it's yeah, I'll buy it. Then I just threw it in a box. I have boxes of crap that I'm one of those weird people. I thought I was a collector, and then you start collecting and you're I don't know, I kind of don't want to do this anymore. And then you just have a box of junk,
I have all this crap is just, I bought it so I could sell it. So,
oh, that's pretty cool.
That's the purpose of this room. But, so there were two other things that we were going to discuss music wise.
Yes.
Before we start meandering about random crap. And the first was that I have sort of changed my approach to marketing shows or my strategy.
Yeah, I'm curious about this because we talked a little bit off air about this.
Yes.
So what are you doing differently now that you weren't doing before?
I'm just I don't want to say hitting the brakes, pulling back. I guess at one point in time I was casting a wide net and just trying to play anywhere, everywhere, all the time, which amounted to 50 shows a year, one a week basically. And I have now recently moved to Iowa City, and I have changed the strategy, and I'm just doing one a month. And what I have discovered is several things. And that is, part of it, okay, so in the beginning, I wanted to do one a month. And then when I started playing with country singer Gina Owens, and then, I always wanted my band to do one every single month. And we basically did that for 3 years. But then I started booking all these solo gigs on the side, which paid really well, relatively to the playing with the band.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to split the money, so makes sense.
Those were just kind of sprinkled on top, and it amounted to 50 a year. And so we did that for 3 years, and then last year, my band sort of scattered all over the state of Iowa, and so having a weekly practice was absolutely not a thing. And then with one of them being 2 hours from Iowa City, 2.5 from Cedar Rapids. I could have just fired him, or whatever, like, or like that could, but it's like no, like we got good juju here, and we'll just do less shows, and then they'll be more impactful, hopefully a better business opportunity for the venues that we partner with, and they'll be more fun for everyone involved, except that you have to drive, which sucks. But and so like I was saying, okay, like instead of doing them every month, we're gonna do like 6 this year, and now um, I'm just like whenever, like once every few months or whatever. And so I have like we'll be playing at Millstream Brewing on in September, the whole band, and we just did one in Waterloo, and we're gonna be doing one. I don't have a date yet, but it was supposed to be in the fall, but it's in talks. There's this like 150-year-old barn outside of Iowa City,
Yeah, I've heard
and
about
it's
it.
it's this octagonal barn. So the guy that owns that was at one of our performances, and he approached me and said, "You guys should play in my barn." So that was quite a while ago, but I think it's finally going to happen. Hopefully here in April and May. I need to talk to him, but that's going to be cool. And in my mind, it's basically like Pink Floyd performing at Pompeii, except like the Iowa version. Um, Maybe that's a little dramatic.
Hmm. That's
But
what it
I
feels
think
like to you.
yeah, yeah. So I'm excited about that, and like I said, like, so I mean, I'm still doing the solo shows and the duo shows, and it's just been like a lot of fun, just like the last handful of them, because I when it comes to promoting them, I'm not like half-assing it ever,
Yeah.
and I'm like making sure I check all the boxes and like really think it through and make sure I'm doing a thorough job of making sure anyone who might possibly be interested in this event is going to hear about it through social media, and as or at least get do my best to make sure that comes true. So so the last few have been like fantastic and fun and awesome, and I'm looking forward to continuing that trend. And
Was there something that made you actually want to like slow down when you're playing shows, or was it just the fact that like by the virtue of everybody kind of scattering across the state, or like life happens, people move, they have jobs, lives, families, whatever. Was it that, or was it just the whole fact where you were like, I think if I have a different approach to this, it might have a different outcome?
Well, I knew that at some point I was really going to need to pull back because, like, I mean, I don't like to travel and I'm not really able to travel and I can't be like going on tour or something like that. So it's like everything is like within a certain radius of where I live and what I do with my life outside of playing music. So, um, just like oversaturating yourself and making it feel like if somebody knows me or likes what I do, that you can come see me every week if you want. And it's like, that's in this business, that's just not really a good way to run your business, unless you are the exception to the rule, which I am not. And so anyhow, um, I mean, it's just like I knew that at some point I would probably need to do that, but like because I started being more hardcore in it in like 2023. It was like before that it was like 1 gig a month ish, maybe for like a couple of years, and before that it was like 1 gig a year for like a few years, and those were pretty fun and impactful, but also like but like doing like the 50 a year, it's like I learned a lot and I got better in a lot of ways. And I also like developed all these relationships with people. And so now, um, like I haven't really like reached out to anyone to book a gig in what feels like quite some time. Whereas I felt like I was always pounding the pavement in the beginning when I wanted to play all those shows. And so it's just good because now it's like I get to be really picky, and it's got to pay really well, or it's got to be really fun or really like meaningful or of service to someone, so or something. So anyhow, like the pulling back, I've just enjoyed it because um and I guess like part of that was like I just got really obsessed with eBay, as I've mentioned like 5 times. But like, and that's something that I can do from home, any time, day or night. Like just work on that, and I'm saving all this money for this wedding, and so that's then a whole part of that process is like hit the gas really hard on that while still like regularly performing shows. And the other point that I wanted to make, I forgot. But yeah, I mean, going out and playing shows, it's like, yeah, you might be playing for 2 or 3 hours, but like the travel and the setup, and it's a lot of time. It's exhausting. Oh, but the other thing too, point that I want to make is like when had like the weekly show, like man, I would go so many days without touching a guitar because um I it's just like less interesting to play songs at home. And I'm not like I don't really like practice guitar or really try to like I don't have like goals or like things that I'm trying to achieve as like far as like trying to play this riff or that riff. Like every once in a while I'll be like, man, I gotta look that up and like figure something out. But like I just don't really care about my guitar skills that much. I'm mostly just about like playing songs and singing songs and all that. And like if I didn't have like a bunch of other responsibilities or whatever, I could just sit down and like do song after song for like probably like an hour a day, and that would be really fun. Um, but not as fun as like when you're in a venue with a bunch of people and like like having this like communal spirit and energy and like that. So the point I was trying to make is when I was doing shows like every week, it was just like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. But then I'd always be like worried that I might like injure my arm because I have this tendonitis problem that like kind of comes and goes. And I did 10 weeks of physical therapy for it a few years ago. And like playing guitar keeps me strong and keeps that at bay. But if I like don't play guitar and then like go and do like a 3-hour gig, that's like when it's like, oh, I might. So the point is, now that I'm doing like 1 gig a month, I'm actually like picking up the guitar and playing like every single day, and it's fun and interesting. And I'm always just like, just play like one song, even if it's a song you played a million times, you do it every show, just just so that there won't be any rust on it. And then once, and I'm always like a leave the guitar in the case guy, which I know a lot of people would say don't do it, but I got the humidifier or in there, and I never I don't replace my strings very much, and I never break strings or anything like that. So the electric guitar is usually on the stand, and I'll pick that up. But anyhow, I'll play like one song, and then it's like, I kind of want to play another, and then I get into it. But I guess it's just like I'm more motivated, just like having this one like big event on the horizon, and being like, instead of being like, oh, my chops are going to be where they need to be because I got a show this weekend and I'll play the show and that'll be like enough of a workout or whatever. But now it's like, man, if you don't, then you could like hurt yourself or you'll really regret it. So it's like, just do one every day, one song. And I do. And then it usually turns into a lot more than that. And I enjoy it. So
I like to call that playing for enjoyment versus playing for employment.
Yeah, but the employment is part of the enjoyment.
I know, but so it is, but sitting at your house and playing guitar because you want to is different than going out on a Wednesday night, a Friday night, a Saturday night, and a Sunday afternoon because you book the gigs and you have to play. Yes, it's fun. Yes, you're playing guitar. Yes, it's enjoyable. You bring your stuff to the masses. People love it. You get paid money. You have some drinks, whatever it happens to be. But there is something to be said about choosing to do this regardless of any outcome. This is for me and me only, to sit at my house and play some guitar. I absolutely loved the days when I did that, and I have to say I'm at the place where you were, where I just don't play that much at my house anymore because on any given week there's a jam night I can go to, 1 or 2 nights a week, and on any given weekend I'm playing at least 1 gig. So when you have 2 plus 3, 4 nights out of the week you're already playing anyways, the other nights you're just kind of like, I'm just going to sit at home, which you brought up a good point too, where like sometimes that leaves you without any sort of actually practicing the guitar. And I'm not talking about like chugging the same riff over and over again for an hour, just being like, yeah, Megadeth, this is cool. Or like, oh, I'm going to play this Tom Petty song or whatever. Like that's not the same as actually practicing. And I found myself faltering with my goals recently as well, where I don't really have like an end game goal. I'm just playing the guitar to play the guitar.
Yeah, but I think also too, like, you don't want to get into the habit where like you tell yourself you have to pick up the guitar and play, and then every day you pick it up and do like the same exercises or the same riff or whatever, like just by muscle memory, and you're like, this is not interesting. Like, I think you have to like ask yourself, like, why am I doing this? Like, find like sort of the meaning in the I mean, I call it rehearsal more than practice, because like, I mean, I'm not saying that it's wrong to practice guitar, that people should. Like, I had to practice guitar to get to the level I'm at. But as far as like, I don't really try to get to the next level because I just don't care.
Yeah, you like you practice fundamentals. I would say you rehearse songs.
Yeah, I mean, like the fundamentals are like baked into the songs when you rehearse it. But, or I mean, you're keeping yourself in shape, I guess. But yeah, I mean, like just rehearsing stuff and then like thinking of songs that I haven't played in like 5 years, and just like, how much of that do I still remember? And man, I don't know, I probably said this on like a previous podcast I did with you, but it's just amazing. Like, I know when I was like 20 years old, like I could memorize some song in like 2 days. Now it's just like, whoo, like, I mean, I still know how to do it and how to get it in there, but it's like, it's so intentional, and it's like I have to do it, and then it's like use it or lose it. Like, if I'm not playing that song at gigs all the time, then it's like, it's just weird too. Like, so just a couple weeks ago, I did the first gig with my band, Patrick the Gathering, since September, and that's like the biggest gap we've ever had. And so leading into that, I was making sure to stand up and play my Stratocaster every single day, just so that like my back could tolerate holding it for as long as I would need to.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did that, and that was fine. But it's just like that moment, like in one of the, because some of those songs, like, I never play them by myself. It's only like I only do it with a band. But it's like sometimes like you just have this thought in my head. It's like, how do I remember how to do all this? Like, because like, I mean, the show is always pretty loose, but it's also like pretty similar to all the other shows. And so like certain songs, I don't know, it's just weird to think like, man, this song is like imprinted in my mind. Like, I couldn't forget the words if I wanted to.
That's crazy, because I don't remember words
for a lot of songs. And it's just, and then sometimes I do forget words too, but it's just like, you just do it over and over and over again, and then at a certain point, it's just like, man, it's weird that like I can remember all. And it's like a lot of chord progressions too, and
yeah.
But yeah, it's repetition, and I do cheat at my solo gigs and like have like a songbook there with me sometimes.
I would have to have one if I wanted to do any sort of solo gig. I can't remember words.
Yeah, I got my iPad there too for some songs, and it's like, it like goes through these phases. It's like, if I really like fall in love with the song and I want to learn it, and it might become like, it's like a laptop song. It's like I got the tab that's just like permanently open on my laptop, and then eventually like it might make its way into the iPad, and it might like show up at a gig or something. And then like when it's like serious love affair, but like not serious enough that like have to commit this song to memory, then it's printed out on paper and it goes into the songbook. And because I don't own a printer, you know, because the last one I had like 10 years ago just like broke after like having it for a year, and I'm like, that's stupid, I'm never gonna have a printer again, I'm just gonna use a public printer or at work or whatever. So anyhow, it's like that's when you know it's serious, but not serious enough for me to like really cram it in my head. But I try to do like, I usually do at least like one set or two just all from memory, and that's, I mean, I enjoy that the most. But sometimes it's like a breath of fresh air at the end of the night when it's like, well, let's bust out the iPad with like a few hundred crowd pleasers on it and just like play like the songs that people are always yelling
Oh yeah.
yelling at me to play. And I have a theory on that too,
Let's hear
which
it.
is that I don't think people really care about the song that much or that they really want to hear it that much. I think it just makes them feel special when they know that you can probably play this one song, and then they pick it out and then you play it.
Okay, so they really don't
I'm
care.
sorry if that sounds so cynical.
So
It's not like
when
it's not.
hold on a sec. So it's like when somebody comes up and asks you to play a song or requests a song, pops a 10 or a 20 or whatever in your tip jar.
More like if they actually not if they like come up and whisper it in your ear. It's more like if they yell it out. When they whisper it in your ear, it's more. And I'm not saying like the Freebird thing, but I'm saying just in general. Like, hey, can you do this or that song? And it's like, I could. Or like, I know most people can, but I actually don't do that song. But I feel like in that case, it's not because they love that song or that they really want to hear it. It's that they want to feel special. And like I said, I apologize if you're someone listening that does that, and it sounds cynical.
No,
Or that I'm judging you. You're free to yell anything you want at me within reason.
I will say that is like a peeve though that I have is like, just. I don't know. I get it, but like the Freebird one's the obvious one where you're just like, really? Like, are we doing this?
I would just tell them like, I'll do it next time. Like,
I mean, the joke's on them. We've played it sometimes, but like we've also just been like, we'll start playing it and it's just like, I'm as free as a bird, and then you just stop like halfway through. Like, now you don't even get to like the 4 of the chord progression. You're just like, yeah, we're done.
I might acapella sing like 2 lines from a song. It's like, there, I did it. Woo!
Oh man, I don't know. Some of it just comes down to you kind of have to appease everybody. That's what we're there for, literally. As crazy as it sounds, like yeah, we're playing guitar, and some people think it's cool, and whatever. But like in all reality, we're just like court jesters. We're just the guy with the funny hat going like this.
You gotta, to an extent, you gotta give the people what you want or what they want. And I remember the first time I saw John Hyatt live in concert. He came out and played. The first song was like one that everybody there would know. And after like 5 songs, and I think he mostly was playing the hits, but then like people just started yelling like, "I want this song, this song, this song," and then there was a point when he was like, well, we weren't going to play this one, but you keep yelling for it, so okay, we'll do it. And that was interesting because I feel like you don't get that at every concert. But that was like a theater show and, like less than 1,000 people. But anyhow, it's...
I don't know. I love and hate that. It's nice to have somebody request something. It's fun to appease them. But it'd be like, what if you cook somebody like a whole like meal and they were just like, I wanted lasagna. And it's just like... okay, like, but it's no different than like a kid. Like when I was a kid, I was just like, I don't want to eat this. And they're like, you eat peanut butter and jelly then, so it's like, all right. Like,
I mean, I like I said, I want to make people happy and put on a good show, but I don't want to pander. And
you want to do some.
Other people can pander all they want. That can be their MO, and God bless them for it. But it's just not like, it's not my style. And it's like, people, when they go to hear or see a music show, it's like they typically want something that they're familiar with, something that they love, and it's like, if you come see me play, you're probably going to get some of that, and you're probably going to get some stuff that you're not familiar with, but that's also the same as like anybody else that performs anywhere, unless it's your favorite person and everything. But I mean, so there's something for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I might take a few requests, and I got my iPad with all the crowd pleasers for the late night, for the end of the road when I'm sick of doing the same songs that I do every time. But anyhow,
okay,
yeah, that's my thoughts on that.
So one of my fun things you can do is I'm not always the best at spinning things positively, but one of my favorites is when somebody will take like something like this conversation, like, oh, I just say this and it's funny, and it's like, oh, I never would have thought of that, So for example, like, and I don't want to burn people's material, and so when you go, it's not funny when you hear it, but like, I've heard Clint Riedel say, like, if somebody like yells a song out, he'll be like, I'll tell you what, if you write that on the back of $100 bill and put it in my bass player's pocket, we'll play it, And so
that's a lot of words. Like when dealing with the public, you got to keep it concise. But kudos to you, Clint.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard other ones where like, oh, I'll play this song. It's like, well, I couldn't hear you because my tip jar was in the way, and like, just like things like that, or like, hey, play this, and someone's like, I got one that's close to that, and then you just play whatever you were gonna play anyways. Like, so you can kind of like play games with them and joke with them a little bit, and if you get the right crowd, they'll understand it and it's funny. And again, that's something that I'm not the best at. That's why I'm not the guy with my name on the marquee, because those people are better at it. But I don't know.
Like a few years ago, I saw Liz Moen at the James Theater in Iowa City, which is less of a music venue, more like a theater,
Mm-hmm.
And it's like you can hear a pin drop. It's actually really good for music. I think that's like the only show I've ever been to there. But I mean, just sounded amazing. Like it's a real small room, but it's like what would you call it? Like Coliseum style seats or whatever. Like they go up,
Mm-hmm.
and then the stage is down there, and it's a nice big stage. Anyhow, so it's like you can hear like a pin drop, and I remember like she came out, people hoot and holler. She played the first song, people hoot and holler, and people are like yelling, "Ah, play that!" And then she's like, "This is not going to be she's like, "Thank you for coming. It's not going to be an interactive show." It's just like didn't happen again. Like everybody like respected that, and that was cool.
Dude, that's that's something that's like lighthearted. You're not just like no, which is like my instinct to just be like no, like go away, like but like to just be fun like that. Kudos to anyone that has that in them as part of your personality.
You got to put your foot down.
Yeah, and be positive about it, and everybody has a good time. Again, like I don't know. As musicians, that's what we're there for. And again, that's one reason. Like I play a lot of shows with Jesse. I'm very thankful for him. Otherwise, I play in a punk band most of the time, and you can just like yell at people from the stage, and they're like, "Yeah."
How was Three Finger Betty was at the Octopus recently?
It was literally, and I'm not saying this to be all like, it was a turn away crowd.
What does that mean?
There were so many people there. If you walked up, they were like, "It's full." Sorry.
So it was fun.
It was packed. Again, in the last episode, I was like, the last time when I loaded out and came back in the front door, I couldn't get in. Well, guess it's the same deal. I've
actually never been into that place. It looks cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to play there, but isn't the stage like really small? And I just imagine like, do you wear hearing protection when you're on stage? Because like you got like cymbals and
no,
I don't know. No,
I used to.
Your ears ring all the time?
No, but I can tell you that I can hear better out of one ear than the other.
So how does your guy sing like over? Because like that's my thing as a singer. Because I'm like a lower baritone, and like what I've discovered over the years is when it comes to rock and roll, and I'm like partially rock and roll. I'm like, but it's like when people say like rock and roll, like it seems like the image that evokes in your mind is like Sunset Strip, like hair metal, also like Robert Plant before that, and like Ozzy Osbourne, and like like a banshee wail,
Yeah.
There aren't a lot of like rock and roll singers. Yeah, I know. There aren't a lot that like have my range or somewhere similar. So like, I do a lot of Johnny Cash stuff, but and I'm not as deep as him by any means. But like just playing with a drummer is just like, because I never really did until like 5 years ago maybe, and that's like such an adaptation because especially with like cymbals, like, and what I think I've discovered is like singers like Robert Plant, when you're singing, when you have that vocal range and you're singing at that part of the range, like even without like decent monitoring, like you can still like hear yourself just by where your ears are towards your mouth.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit, but like for someone with a deeper voice, it just like gets completely drowned out. And you have to have those monitors there, or you just have to have like less volume coming from everything else around you. And what I've learned a lot too is just like where you place people on stage just makes such a huge difference. And it's just like, man, those cymbals, and I think it's just mostly the cymbals because they, I don't know, is wash the right term, but it's like like they ring and like
everything in that frequency range is just ruined.
Yeah. So that, so yeah, when I see like the video of you playing there or whatever, I'm just like, man, that's a little too close for comfort with me. Like as a singer, being like that close to the drum set, and I would just imagine that it's very loud on that stage. But
Oh yeah.
I'm sure, I'm sure, I'm sure it was a lot of fun regardless.
It also depends on the drummer. Different drummers have different styles. Some like to hit hard. Some like to not hit hard.
Yeah,
Some of them when they hit the snare, it's like a gunshot, and some of them, they're just kind of, I don't want to say smoother with it, but it's just everything's more fluid. They're not really just being like boom cha, and just like smashing cymbals left and right. And I've played with all types of drummers, and I respect and admire all of them. They all have their place, but Clint Wheelman, the drummer for the Rumors, who's also the drummer for Three Finger Betty, is a loud drummer. And I guess I've just gotten used to it. I'm always on the same side of the stage if I can help it in that band, and so it's always like one ear that gets all of the cymbal.
yeah,
So like this ear just does not hear that frequency very well. I
yeah.
guess, is what it is. So like I think the term for that is like technically industrial deaf. So like if you sit in a place that has a lot of like loud pinging or like noises from like industrial type stuff.
Like my laptop.
Yeah, I don't hear it anymore. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, but I'm surprised you don't have the tinnitus because I have hyperacusis, which is similar but different. It's like peanut butter and jelly, I guess.
There's your fan again.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Oh, I saw, so a few years ago, Bush came to Cedar Rapids, and so Bush is like Gavin Rossdale and then like all these other people that have like, he's like the only original member, but so it's like,
Okay.
whatever. But, dude, that dude playing the drums was like, and they're not like a metal band, but he was like,
Oh yeah.
like with and I was like, holy crap! Like I don't think I could play with that guy. So he was on a drum.
energy.
He was like in a drum riser, like 50 feet in the air too. But I thought that was interesting. That dude was really getting into it. And then who was the drummer they were talking about? Maybe it was Danny Carey or somebody else, but they were like, yeah, he just totally just relies on like the monitors and the mics and just like like barely touches it and just like has it all dialed in so that like he's letting the electronics do the work and the amplification. I don't know if it was Danny Carey, maybe somebody else, but yeah, drum talk.
Yeah. So I just looked up hyperacusis. So this is a fun thing because it's not that I do have this, but there are certain things that happen that cause a similar feeling to this.
Well, you probably have it.
It's if I'm in okay, so this is going to sound crazy. So part of my job is like, like, oh, I can hear your fan. And I'm like, what is that noise? It just puts me on edge because it's something's here that's not supposed to be here. And I'm trying to pay attention to something and something else is just, taking all my attention. And so some of that comes from like, this is my job. My job is like monitoring live sounds and adjusting things and mixing stuff to make it as good as possible given this scenario. And like, I'll go places and if I'm like listening to a speech or a speaker or going to a conference and there's people behind me talking, it's just like, I cannot handle this. Or like, if same situation, if there's somebody like, I can hear them like doing dishes or like clearing tables. Like, it's just like, get out of here. I just
well, okay, is it one ear or both?
It's mostly it's like flip flop. So like my left ear is the one I can't hear certain frequencies as well out of, and my right ear that's usually the one that like I feel like I can hear the most.
So I'm going to take this opportunity to educate you and the listeners of the Audible Farm because this was a very scary thing for me 6 years ago. Actually, it started before that. And I don't want to delve like too deep into my personal life, but I was teaching middle school and I had a very small classroom, and it was my first year as like a full-time salaried teacher. And there's a lot of like screaming in my room, like girls, like high pitched, maybe some boys too. Voices hadn't changed, but so that was like bothersome, and I was just like really stressed all the time. I had a very difficult group of students. And when I would get in my car at the end of work, I would like turn on my music because I love music, and I would just turn it way up as I had always done, regardless of stress level. And I know in my car, like I still have the same car. It's like falling apart now, but like I never put it above 36. Like I know that like it's loud at 36 if I turn it up slowly and get there and just like leave it there. Like don't go above that. You don't want to like cause hearing damage, whatever. But like it started to like irritate me when I was in my car and I'd have the music that loud that had previously been normal and comfortable for me. I just kept doing it. And like every day after work, I would crank it up and just be like, just drown out the stress, forget about it, go home and relax or whatever. And basically, I started to notice that my ears were just like hurting all. Well, it was this ear, my left ear, which is the one closer to the speaker in the car. I mean, there's another speaker over there, but so my left ear would hurt, and then like if some kid like screamed in my class, it would hurt, and or just like high pitches, and just yeah, like any noises like that. Like if somebody's running the blender in the house, like. The coffee grinder, whatever, like it's like I got to get away, I got to put something in my ear. And I'm not gonna give you like all the details, but like I was freaked out, and so like I was on the internet doing my research, and of course, but before I figured it out, like I was doing what you're not supposed to do, which is like hiding from sound and isolating yourself and like trying to be in the quietest environment possible. It actually gets worse if you do that.
It's so funny. Exactly what you're saying is like right here in the very first link I clicked.
Yeah. So it's like, well, what do I do? Because that's like a catch-22. Because if I go out into a noisy environment, it's like gonna like really trigger it, and like I'm gonna be like, you know, and it's like you're just constantly thinking about it, and you're like irritated, and for me, I was scared because I was like, am I gonna have to like quit playing music or?
Yeah.
And also like not just that, but like I guess I figured it was probably just like a psychological thing, which it is. Like my hearing is perfect. I get it tested every year. It's perfect for a 34-year-old male or whatever. But it has been perfect. Although last time I went to the DMV, I think my vision is starting to not be so perfect anymore. I'm a little worried about that. But anyhow, so I have these devices. I'm actually wearing them right now. And it looks like a hearing aid. And so, of course, then when you work at a high school, kids have to ask you, like, why are you wearing hearing aids? But it's not a hearing aid. All it does is pumps white noise into my ears. And it's the same thing that is used to not heal, but to be therapeutic for tinnitus. And so what it breaks down to is like, I think like 80% of people that have tinnitus, which if you run a jackhammer every day and don't wear hearing protection, you're going to get it. Or play electric guitar on tour 100 nights a year and don't wear hearing protection, you're probably going to get tinnitus. And that's the ringing. But so like 80%, I think, of people with that also have some degree of hyperacusis. I just have hyperacusis. It's more of like an emotional thing rather than like things were so loud that I like damaged like the fibers or the hairs in my ears. But it's just like an emotional reaction, and it only flared up recently. This is so stupid to circle back to the eBay thing, but like I realized when I'm in this tiny room like packing things up, I got like my tape gun here, and like when you do this, it's pretty loud, like, you know. And so I was doing that. And then I started to notice that like my hyperacusis was like bugging me again. So then I started wearing my like lawnmower ear protection that my lovely lady gave to me, and so that's like not a thing. But then I was playing so much electric guitar, like preparing for this last gig, and I've been like practicing like lead guitar, playing along to like records. I got my dad's old stereo out there, like cranking it up, and like so anyhow, the hyperacusis kind of has been bugging me lately, but it only took, they told me if you wear these devices for like 2 years, it should mostly go away. And in like a year, it was like pretty much never bothering me, but I still wore them like every day for 2 years. So I barely wear them now. and now I've been wearing them a lot lately just because of what I just described. So I hope that, I mean, if you go to like any audiologist, they'll know what the deal is, and they can fit you with devices. Or if you want to just like put a fan, if you're ever in like a quiet environment, it's all about like teaching yourself or training your brain that like noise is okay, like a little bit of noise. Like you start by taking like baby steps. So like I said, like it just pumps like white noise. It sounds like ocean waves crashing.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't have devices like this, if you have like a fan going in like a quiet room, if you're sitting there reading a book, like that's better than being alone in complete silence. Because when you're in the complete silence is when you start to notice it more, which is a weird thing. Or when something loud, when somebody drops a dish or whatever.
Yeah, it's so funny because I don't want people to think like I'm careless and I'm just raw dogging everything full volume.
Well, I don't wear hearing protection on stuff either, but I like refuse to play with people that play at a level that, or in an environment where that's like necessary. You know? And so like I have a 15-watt electric guitar amp that I use. And yeah, I mean, it can get really loud, but if you're in like a good sized bar and you don't have it cranked up all the way and you're just playing some rhythm, it's like, and like noise is all like so relative too. Like there's like an absolute number of decibels, but whether that seems loud or not to you is totally based on like psychological factors and like what you're accustomed to, like both in the long run and also like in the moment. Like if you're in a silent room and somebody jumps in and says, hey, like, I mean, it's going to sound like louder than it would if you're at like a music festival and somebody does the same thing.
That's true.
So anyhow, yeah, I don't know where I was going with that, but
yeah, I do wear hearing protection when I do rehearsal though, because like you brought up a good point. The size of the room or like where you're at, et cetera, is a big deal. So like when we would do like band rehearsals and stuff, more often than not, it's in a very, very, very small room. And, like the size of my podcast room, if you put like 3 amps and a drum set in there with a PA, it's going to be insanity. It's just going to be so loud. And so like I literally wear like shooting protection. Like, so like if you're going to go out shooting a gun, you have like hearing protection. I went and bought like a high dollar set of those, and that's what I use for when I'm like rehearsing with at least with Three Finger Betty. And nothing against Clint, but it's like, again, like we all wear the hearing protection down there, or at least we all used to. I don't know if everybody still does, but I mean, I got to a point where like I was wearing hearing protection, but just in one ear on stage for a while, because it's mostly just like the drums, it's the cymbals, that's the thing that like it would always get me. It's just like it's like nails on a chalkboard. Even if they're nice cymbals and it's well placed and it sounds great, it's still just like, it's just the sound where I'm just like, just makes me make a face like I just ate a lemon. I'm just like,
and I know people are probably like, well, just use in-ear monitors, but it's like, well, they cost a lot of money and they can go down on you, and you have to dial it in perfectly, and then maybe after you think you got it dialed in perfectly, then a bunch of people jump in the room, and then it's all of a sudden you're not hearing the frequencies you want. It's like, I think it's cool that there's like some bands that are still like old school, and they're like, oh yeah, we don't like and I heard on like a podcast like Chris Robinson from the Black Crowes, he's like, oh yeah, I'm old school, just use my wedge monitors, and but like they have a budget that they could do whatever, but he's not even that old school. He's
I've done in-ears, they're great, but I've also done wedges and they're fine. It just depends on the sound guy too. Like I've been places where I'm not going to point fingers, but I've been places where the sound was just absolutely garbage every time I was there. It didn't matter who was there. Maybe it's the system, maybe they don't care, maybe it's because we're the opening band and there's 6 bands on the bill. I don't know. But like I just learned to live without. I know what I'm playing. I know what it sounds like. I know where everyone else is at in the songs. I'm just going to play it, and I know when I move my fingers like this, these are the noises that come out of here, and it's going to happen.
Whether or not you hear them.
Yeah, even if I can't hear them, I just trust that everyone else can hear them. So
I'm telling you, man, as a singer, it's a whole different ballgame.
Oh, you have to hear yourself singing.
You can't. But it's crazy though. Like back in the '60s and stuff, like they just like didn't have monitors, and I don't know. I can't imagine. And
no, I mean that was also when they had like the PA was for the vocals and the guitars didn't go through the PA. They had to have a 48 full stacks, you know?
Yeah, they had to have a full stack, and it's like, well, that would make it even harder to sing.
Unless you're standing near the monitor. Or standing near one of the mains, excuse me.
Yeah, I think they'd always just have it like standing so that your ears are like
just on the edge of where it's going to hit you without feeding back the mic.
Still, it's just not as good as having like a monitor coming at your ears, and yeah, it's just like I know if I can't hear my voice well, I know it's like, well, there's a chance that out there they can hear it fine, but it's so hard to not like push it harder and then like and you're like, oh god, I can't do this for 3 hours, like something's got to change,
dude. I always just trust they can hear it out there fine, and if you need more or less, hit it in the wedge. That's it. That's the end of the story. Like I always just trust whatever's out there is fine if there's a sound guy. I'm not worried about what coming out there. But also sometimes you can ruin stuff with a wedge though too. If you're standing elbow to elbow and the singer's in the middle and he's just like blasting his vocals, it's like, well, I can't even hear my wedge, you know?
Yeah, and then it's just a fight.
Yeah,
between everybody.
Which again, I've learned to, and that's not being the bigger man, but it's just I've learned to just reserve myself to the fact, like, I know what I'm playing, even if I can't hear it that well. It's coming out the front because the sound person's doing their job. I'm just going to go with it. If I can't hear myself in the mix on stage, it's fine. I'm just going to deal with it. But you can also like fight that by like putting your amp at a different spot. If it's on the ground pointing at your ankles, it's different than if it's on a stand pointing towards your face. Yeah. So I don't know. There's a lot of yeses and nos.
I'm always my own sound guy though, so like I have no one to complain to but myself.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Well, it's fun seeing that you're out there playing different towns, different shows, different places. I mean, we're talking Amana Call. You got a show coming up in Amana later this spring. You got one coming up in Smoke, I think, is your next one, which is, well, that's going to be Saturday, right?
Yes. Is this coming out?
This is
tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So you're going to be Up in Smoke.
Up in Smoke barbecue, Cedar Rapids, Czech Village. Come hang out. It's going to be a good time. Me and Wyatt Forrester.
Nice.
And he is an awesome drummer and all-around musician. And maybe I'll get him to sing a few songs. So yes, Millstream's coming up. And one of these days, I'm going to get back to the Vault in West Liberty. You should interview Dan Miller, who runs that place.
Okay.
It's an awesome recording studio. And I'm going to put the finishing touches on the next Patrick the Gathering record. I'm very excited about it. I like what we got so far. I just need to do some guitar overdubs, and I've just been so busy that I haven't gotten it done. And but it's going to happen. And then you will see on the Audible Farm Facebook group that it has arrived. And I hope you listen to it, and I hope you like it. And I hope to. I did a show in Humboldt last summer, and I'm hoping I can do that again this summer. Somewhere, maybe the brewery again. That was great.
VFW.
They do shows.
Yes, sir.
All right, because that's a bigger room. So
yep.
That was my only. I would love to bring my band there.
Do it.
I would love to. It's a lot of driving for a lot of people.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how much.
Yeah, you're 3 hours away now.
Yeah, and there's just like I don't know. It's budget constraints.
True that.
I mean, I'm in it for the love of the game, Peter. Just
yep.
like most of us. So we'll see what happens.
I only got a couple questions for you on the way out here.
Oh, okay.
This is going to be maybe some quick fire questions. Are you happy you're playing less shows a year?
Like I would be happy playing more shows if they were all bangers. But in order at this point in this at this stage in the game, if I want it to be a banger, then there's like a magic number.
Okay.
And so, quality over quantity. And I'm not like, I think all the shows I played over the years, which were maybe like spreading myself too thin or whatever. Like I guess I don't think I was spreading myself too thin because, like I said, I made so many relationships, and business is all about relationships, not just relationships, but friendships and experiences, and like just having this network of venues and other musicians, and so it's like I just feel like if I want to make something happen, I can make it happen. otherwise, like it comes to me, you know. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's awesome. You're like manifesting what you want out of this, one way or the other.
Yeah, and it's, you know, I obviously, like, I want to play the music, I want to get paid, but I also want to have fun, and I also really, really want whoever hired me to feel like they're getting a return or to feel happy. And for the first time ever, after a show I did in December, they mailed me a thank you card.
Oh, cool.
And it was very sweet. I wasn't expecting that at all. And with this, when they reached out to me, it was I was just like, I don't know how you heard about me, because this is pretty far away, and but I'd love to do it, but also, like, I don't know anybody there. I can promote it and post about it online, but, like, I don't think anybody's gonna come see me. And they're like, oh, that's fine. Like, we'll have people here. And
was that at Dharma's?
Yeah. No.
I was trying to think of like the shows that you've played. I tried to go back through and find some of the old places you played at.
Dharma's is awesome. I shout out to Dharma's. If
it's in Troy's Mill. Troy Mills. Yep.
Troy Mills. Yeah, they always have music there on I think Friday and Saturday nights. And the lady who runs that, what's her, Darcy, she's the sweetest. And so yeah, if you're ever in the Cedar Rapids area, Friday, Saturday nights, you need something to do and don't mind driving 20 minutes, go to Dharma's. There'll be somebody playing there. It'll be great. But no, that was at the golf resort in Galena.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
That's awesome. That's super fun. Okay, so one more question before you go. This has been tons of fun. I'm going to spring this on you, and I didn't think of this until just now. What's the weirdest thing you have within arm's reach in your little eBay room that you could just like show us?
Okay.
Again, this is off the cuffs, and this is like a bonus for anybody watching. I don't know. It could just be like a foam finger. It could be an Elmo doll. I don't know what it's going to be.
All right. So to all the Magic the Gathering fans out there, yes, my band Patrick the Gathering is, in the beginning there were two Patricks. That's why it was Patrick the Gathering, but also like Patrick and John Patrick. And we used to play Magic the Gathering in our dorm rooms back in our college days. Still get together at least once a year and do. But this, I had it for sale on eBay for a while, but then this is like not G-rated, okay? But this is a card from 1994, the second year of Magic the Gathering, and there is a woman on it who's not wearing a lot of clothing.
What's the card called?
It's called Sylvan Paradise, Sylvan. And I kind of, it's just kind of has like an iconic artwork because there's partial nudity in it. And
okay, I see.
And so anyhow, so I had that for sale in my store for a while, but then I was just like, this is just too, like, it's such a cool artifact from the past.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. And I just listed this today. I just bought this today. It's a dog guitar. Okay, it has several modes. This is the acoustic mode. I don't know if you can all see this.
Oh, I can definitely see it.
$12 plus shipping. It has the different chords, so you could actually like record something.
Wow.
I don't know, the strumming feature's weird, but then you can switch it to electric. See it? I mean, it sounds like a...
Interesting.
Not exactly a Fender Twin. Then there's Howl.
Is it like barking?
It's the dog barking the notes. It has like a bone for a whammy bar, I think. I don't know.
Dude,
what this
that's
bone
insane.
does.
That'd be so fun just for a knick-knack just to have there.
It's got a strap.
Oh, it's even got a strap. Oh
I sold
my gosh.
this thing called like a wobbles or a bobbles. It was like this, like a marsupial toy plush doll from the 80s, and it had an electric guitar strapped on it. It's like a, I don't know, a rare one or something. So yeah, I paid like $1 for it and sold it for like $25. So that was pretty cool. I mean,
Wild, man. I bet you run across some crazy stuff. Plus, like, and you know, we were talking about collecting earlier. Like, everybody's a collector now of something. Everything's going to trigger somebody's nostalgia somewhere. I guarantee there's somebody that had that.
A skateboard.
A skateboard? I mean, like, that's so wild. Imagine gathering a dog guitar and a skateboard. Like,
I don't know much about skateboards, but yeah, I don't think there's anything too overly crazy, and I won't bore our listeners with my weird crap. But there's some weird crap. I mean, I sold this. Okay, one last eBay story, and then I'll stop talking about eBay, and then I can leave or whatever. But, what like turbocharged my obsession was about 6 months ago. Actually, not even 6 months ago. I get a lot, like most of my stuff from the Goodwill bins.
Okay.
In Cedar Rapids, and so I paid like less than $1 for this 1930s 78 RPM shellac record, and it's a banjo player named Uncle Dave Macon, who is very famous and historical figure. I'd never heard of him at the time, but you learn stuff as you get older and educate yourself. That's what I love about music, or part of it, I guess. But anyhow, I did a little research. I couldn't find another copy of that record anywhere on eBay, but I did my research, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna put it at 125 or best offer. We'll see, because I think it's rare. It's from like the 30s, and it sold 4 hours later to a banjo player in Virginia. I looked him up like a while later. I was like, I wonder who bought that record, and I looked it up. He's like a legit like banjo aficionado. His name is Corbin Hazlett. I feel weird like revealing that. I feel like I'm doxing someone, but anyhow, he has that record now. I'm sure he spins it every day, and that was a good find. I sold another record to like a music scholar in the UK. That was like a John Philip Sousa record.
Oh, cool.
Like $75 for that. So yeah, I'm a treasure hunter part-time, and in addition to being a musician part-time and doing a few other jobs. So it's all good, man.
You're the king of the side gig.
What I always tell people is, and this is just a cliche, but jack of all trades, master of none, but better than most who are master of one, which most people leave out that part of the cliche.
Yes. I love that there's sayings that actually are longer and people cut them off, and it's like if you add the rest of it, it's actually way more powerful.
Yep.
All right. Well, don't go anywhere, Patrick. Everybody be sure to check them out at Up in Smoke this weekend. Cedar Rapids, right?
Absolutely.
What time?
Cedar Rapids, Czech Village. I'll be there.
All right. So, Patrick, stay with us. Thank you. Okay, so there you go. Patrick Tecklenburg going to be at Up in Smoke, Cedar Rapids on the 7th, which is a Saturday. So make sure you check that out. That's going to be a fun time. Go check him out live. Again, he's only playing one show a month, and they're usually more full now because he can spend more time marketing on it. What do you guys think of that? Is that something you're going to do? Is that you want to try it? I like to play a lot of shows, but at the same time, I get where he's coming from. Like if you play like one show a week every Saturday, you usually only spend like Monday to Friday promoting the show for the most part. You might sprinkle in a post every now and then before that, but it's just you're not really going to have the run up to the show that you might have if you take a whole month to promote something. You can create a better marketing campaign for things and things like that. So is that something anyone else has tried? I know in Three Finger Betty we did that. We used to play literally like 50, 60, 70 shows a year. And I mean, I think the one year we had the most, it was like 57. But that's a lot for a punk band. I know for a fact there were times where we would play shows and it'd be like 2 in a week in the same town. And it was detrimental. It got to the point where less and less people came out just because it was more available to see us whenever people really wanted to. So it's cool to see that people are out there trying new strategies, employing new things as their lives change. Their approach to things change, and they're still finding ways to make a positive outcome, which is something else that was fun about this episode, was talking about just being positive. And that helps a lot. So thank you to Patrick for joining us on this episode. If you made it this far, thank you very much for listening. Make sure you share, like, subscribe, comment, whatever you want to do. If you know Patrick and you like this episode, just hit that share button wherever you're at. There's a little share button. It usually looks like a little box with an arrow coming out of it. Just click that thing and then just text message it to everyone you know. I think that's one of the funnest things to do is to share a podcast episode that you think somebody might like. Somebody recently shared a podcast with me that they thought I would like, and it was pretty entertaining. So, if you like this episode, share it. Thanks, Patrick. Thank you to the Fort Dodge Fine Arts Association, and thank you guys for listening. Make sure you check out audiblefarm.com for basically everything else. We're on social media everywhere at Audible Farm, and that's about it. All right, guys. Peace.